Good morning. It's Wednesday, March the 3rd, and this is The Drill. Thank you very much. I'm Ron, your host, and I'm welcome to all the butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers out there, and I'm the only true conservative in the United States today. Today, I'm going to be talking about the evils of neutrality, the illegals that were killed in an automobile accident on the border in Southern California yesterday, and much more. Neutrality is sinister, and it's sinister because what you are in essence doing is equivocating, but it's not really equivocating. You are presenting as equal choices, equally valid choices, good and evil. You're saying, here's good, this is what good looks like, this is what bad or evil looks like, your call, you decide. No, that's not the message you want to send. You don't go out and say, when you're having a conversation about abortion, you don't say, well, this is what abortion is, and then over here is non-abortion, which is taking the baby to term. You decide. There, I've given you the facts, now I'm going to let you decide. Really? You're anti-abortion and that's your message, is you decide? No, that's not the position you want to give. Environmentalism, otherwise known as property rights. You don't want to give the example where you say, well, over here is property rights, and over there is being stripped of your property rights. They're the facts. You decide. Really? That's the message you want to send? That property rights and being stripped of your property rights are equal, morally, ethically equal, and the rest of it is just a matter of popularity. That's neutrality. That's the way that the vast majority of broadcasters are handling the issues. They're not promoting anything. They're not promoting anti-abortion. Notice I didn't say pro-life. It's not the same thing. Okay? They're not promoting anti-abortion. They're not promoting property and property rights. Okay? They're simply saying that good and evil are morally equal, morally equivalent, except as to popularity. We will give you the facts and let people decide, and we will see what the result of the poll or the survey is. Are you sure that's the message that you want to send? It isn't what I want to send. Do you think you're going to be able to defeat socialism that way, by letting people decide for themselves? You don't do that. You don't do that with your kids, do you? Here's lying. Here's telling the truth. I'll let you decide. No. You tell your kids you should always tell the truth. And you explain to them why they should always tell the truth. And why lying is wrong and or evil. That's what you're supposed to do. You never come out with this, well, I'll give you the facts and let you decide crapola. Because it's exactly that. It's crap. You cannot fight evil if you're going to elevate it and say that it is really no better or worse than the good. As a matter of fact, you're just as evil as anyone else, or perhaps more so, for doing that. I was listening to Tim Conway, the Tim Conway Show on the radio, and he was talking about an accident that happened yesterday near the border. And everybody's handling this accident the same way. They're doing what Ayn Rand referred to as context dropping, and they shouldn't be doing it. It's wrong. But this is part of the cult of neutrality, and that's why I want to use this as an example. what they're saying is that there was apparently, the story is, the rumor, if you will, is that a van, it was a SUV, excuse me, an SUV that was packed with 25 people was broadsided by an 18-wheeler as it was crossing the road. And 13 people died. And so lots of talk about the mechanics of the accident, whether or not the individual driving the SUV stopped at a stop sign, that kind of thing. But what the context that they're dropping is immigration, illegal immigration, illegal aliens. Stop and think about it. This happened near the border, California and Mexico border. That's what it's where it was rumored to be have happened, and it's an SUV filled with 25 people. Again, the rumor is they took all the seats out so they could get 25 people into this van. My only guess is that they were stacked like cordwood. Whenever you have a situation like that, it's smuggling. That's what they're doing. When they pack people into truck containers, whatever. If they pack people in like that, it's a smuggle. They're smuggling people across the border, undocumented, illegal aliens into the country. And it's important because it's a moral issue, first of all, that whoever was in, all of them were at fault. And I would dare say that this accident wouldn't have happened. 13 people would not be dead if all of these people didn't selfishly, immorally try to break the laws of the United States of America and sneak across the border. Furthermore, the people that ultimately bear responsibility for this in the largest sense is Nancy Pelosi and every open borders yahoo in this country. Everybody that encourages the Joe administration and again Nancy Pelosi are at fault. These deaths are on their hands because they do. This kind of thing didn't happen during the Trump administration. It happens now during the Joe administration and with Nancy Pelosi in charge of the House of Representatives because they're the ones that want to turn a blind eye while people risk their lives, their health and safety, and the lives of their children trying to sneak across the border because Nancy Pelosi, again, turns a blind eye to it. It's a wink and a nod. Code words and whatnot to let them know, yeah, it's okay, go ahead. You're not supposed to do it. We don't want people coming across the border. Wink, wink, not wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But it's still everybody that is soft on the border, everybody that is encourages people one way or another to cross this border illegally is responsible for 13 deaths at the border. Now, stop and think about also, at first it feels as though when I say that, like I'm getting a little bit carried away maybe. But I thought to myself, if the roles were reversed and it was Republicans that were encouraging people to come across the border illegally, and it was the Democrats that were trying to hold the tide, hold back all of these tens of thousands of immigrants coming from Mexico and Central America, how long would it take for the left-wing media in this country, which is all of the media, to blame Republicans, to blame Donald Trump, to blame Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy? How long would it take for them to say that those deaths are on the hands and on the consciences of Republicans? Not long at all. They would do it on the spot. And what's good for the goose, good for the gander. Metaphorically speaking, and the left loves their metaphors, metaphorically speaking, this is on Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi gets to bear the political and moral responsibility for 13 people being killed at the border in this automobile accident. Power. Everybody thinks, and myself included, that they don't have enough power. I can't do this because I don't have any power. It's other people. Everybody else has the power. It's the president. It's the Congress. It's the governor, et cetera, et cetera. Everyone has more power than I do. No, it's an illusion. The fact of the matter is that you have pretty much exactly the same power everyone else does. You have the power to own property. You have the power to vote. Okay, so does everyone else. Also, you may have other additional powers, let's say in regards to your workplace. Now, what you don't realize also is that you want additional power. Additional power is given to you every day. And I don't mean where the boss says, I'm leaving, you're in charge, right? Kind of thing. I'm talking about where your coworkers, people that you are your office equals, not your subordinates. Sometimes, in some cases, perhaps your subordinates, but your office peers are going to give you power, or you get it in other places. Most of us don't recognize it, and we let it slip through our fingers and or throw it away. And then again, every day we're thinking, what's the point? We're demoralized. We get up in the morning thinking, what's the point? Why do I bother? Why do I struggle? Why do I fight? And if you recognize situations where people are giving you power and you capitalize on that, you're going to find that you are able to have things are going to become, your life will, day to day, will be more rewarding. For instance, I went to buy a car on Friday. Last Friday. So I go in and we complete the purchase, and then I'm told by the salesman, he says it's a little aside. See, and anytime somebody wants to take you aside, you're one of your peers, you go to work and one of your office workers wants to take you aside. Hey, can I talk to you for a second? The alarm should go off. They're about to give you power. Be on the alert. Be ready. So anyways, this guy wants to talk aside. Okay, ding, 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 my spidey sense goes off. This man's about to give me power. So he says, you're going to get an email from headquarters. And headquarters is going to be, it's basically a survey. So I want you to do me a favor. Instead of don't even open the email, bring it to me instead and let me answer the email. And in exchange, I will give you we'll fill up the tank on the car, fill up with the gas, or give you a wash, either or. And so this is hinky. This is obviously something that's not the way this is obviously not the way it's supposed to go. They're sending me the survey. I'm supposed to complete the survey. Okay, and not him. That's not the way it's supposed to work. Now, this is obviously important to him because of, again, he's offering free gas and a free wash to do it, so it's important to him. He's handing me, in essence, power. Okay, so one of the things that I can do here in this particular situation is go ahead and, he says either or, sorry, Charlie, we're going to do both. And if you don't like it, then I'm going to answer the email. And furthermore, since this is very, very important to him, then I can say further, you're not going to like the way I answer the email. Okay, this is a customer service opportunity. If you don't provide me with the customer service, I'm going to make note of that when I respond to this email. Okay, so he's given me power, and I have the opportunity to use it. Also, let me say something else about, let's make this a little bit more relevant. You're going to work, and how many times have an individual, one of your peers, said to you, hey, cover for me, right? Maybe this individual is going to go goof off. Maybe the individual is asking you to cover while they come back late from lunch. They come late to work. They whatever it is that they're doing, cover for me. And how many times do we say, okay, fine. Why? Get along to go along, or go along to get along. That's why we do it. But what do we get in the meantime? Nothing. We get zero. Now, what if he's, which they will discover if they don't, the supervisors haven't already figured it out, that he's out cutting corners, and he gets called on the carpet, and then, since you've been covering for him all these times, they're going to put you on the carpet. Because you've been lying to the supervisors. Oh, yeah, John's here, he's just in the bathroom, or whatever deal that you're telling them. What now? What are you going to get now? Is your buddy that wanted you to cover for him, is he going to come to your rescue? Is he going to hold you blameless? Is he going to come and say, oh, no, don't blame Ron for anything, I forced him? No, he's not going to do anything heroic. He's got his own problems. He's going to leave you flapping in the breeze. You may end up losing your job because you were trying to go along to get along. And remember what I said about saying no. 3 ways to do it. Say no, then negotiate, say yes with conditions. And that's a manner, it's actually a way of exercising power. No is power. Yes is not. So the next time somebody says, cover for me, you say, wait a minute, I'll cover for you, but it's going to cost you. And check the look on their face, by the way. And then say, we'll talk about it when you get back from goofing off or whatever the deal is. We'll talk about it then. And think up something that you want them to do for you, that you need from them. And again, you're saying yes with conditions. Now, they may decide they want to talk about it right away, or they may even say, you know what? Never mind. Okay, never mind. And that's ultimately what you're looking for here. They withdraw their request. Okay? No, I can't do that, but I'll tell you what I can do. Or, okay, sure, I'll cover for you, but I'm going to want something in return. I'll let you know when you get back. And I like to say that instead of telling him up front what it is that I want, so that he starts sweating. Okay, let him suffer. Let him have the whatever pressure there is, or her for that matter. So that's the deal, is that you have power to begin with, and I always say, you want to be powerful, use the power you already have. Do you own property? Exercise the power. Do you own a car? Exercise the power that goes along with that. Okay? Don't, somebody's in your car and they're misbehaving, pull over and demand they get out. I've had relatives that have had houses, they own the house, and they're letting other relatives misbehave, complaining about it, calling the police. The simplest thing to do is kick them out, evict them. If you have to, you call the police and have them arrested for trespassing. Use the power you already have. And then if you want more power, be on the alert for situations where people are giving you more power. Another situation where they give you more power is when they lie to you. You catch somebody in a lie, don't just blow that off. Remember it for next time. The next time somebody says, trust me. Oh, wait a minute, excuse me. Last time you told me trust me, you lied to me. So now you're going to have to prove it. You're going to have, I trusted you before, now I want collateral in some way, shape, or form. So, and be on the alert for when people give you power, like I have with the situation with the salesman. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to give me not only fill up my tank, he's going to wash the car also. He's going to do both of them because he has really little or no choice. Because he doesn't want to take the risk of pissing me off, and God knows what I'm going to do with that email. He doesn't want that to happen. Okay? And why? Why is this going to happen? Because of him. He's the one that wants to do things on the sly or on the side or whatever, let him pay the price. So a word about recalls. Governor Gavin Newsom, I like to call him Gasm, is subject to recall and is in the process of being recalled. They got enough signatures right now to meet the threshold, but they want to have extra ones. And the right now I think they're 1.8 million, something of that nature, but they want to get to at least 2, because then this is, of course, all these ballots are going to be counted by Democrats. And, of course, Gasm is a Democrat. So they're going to have a tendency to want to throw out extra signatures and do whatever they can to be able to say that it didn't meet the threshold, that this effort was for nothing. So... but and there's also another one for Gascon, which is he's the so-called district attorney in Los Angeles County. And it was the rumor is that he was funded largely by George Soros. Allegedly, $1.5 million went into his coffers to campaign for district attorney. But anyways, he is also, there's a website up, and they're counting the days. It's like 4 or 5 more days, and they get to start getting signatures to recall Mr. Gascon. So why do they have to wait? Because apparently there's something in the law that says you cannot recall anybody unless they've been until they have been in office for at least 90 days. Why? I don't know. There's no good common sense reason for that to be there. So it needs to go. It should be that as soon as they take the oath of office, if there's people that want to recall them, then they can start immediately. One of the things the limits that should be on recalls is if you're a representative and you're 2 years, you serve for 2 years, then a recall should be, they should have a special election for that recall within 1 year. Anything later than that, and it's ridiculous, it's pointless, because they're up for re-election anyhow. So that's the only kind of restriction that I would like to see put on it, is just a common sense timing situation. If you're a senator, then it should be 3 years. If you're somebody serving for 4 years, then you get 2. I think the common sense thing would be recalls, a national recall for president. Again, they take the oath of office, and then things would be a whole lot different today. If old Joe was being recalled. If people around the country were gathering signatures to recall him, I guarantee you that. And I don't even have to guarantee it. It's just a matter of common sense that things would be much different, much better today. I shouldn't say much different. It's more of a neutral phrase. But anyways, it would be better today. And yes, you would have a situation where if we have somebody we conservatives, or we have a good president, let's do that, like Donald Trump, then President Trump would have been subject to recall as well, yes. But good for the goose, good for the gander. And again, if he's a good president, no one's going to want to recall him in the first place. And bad presidents will end up getting recalled. It's an additional check and balance. And the other thing that I wanted to make note of here is let's look at the Democrats and how this 40 days into his administration, and he has gotten where? Old Joe. Where's he got? Nothing. He's signed a lot of executive orders. And by the way, there's a lot of broadcasters getting it wrong. Well, he's signing these executive orders just to exercise some kind of dictatorial powers. No, he's doing it to shield the Democrats in the legislature, in Congress, particularly in the House, because the Democrats know that there's going to be there's a strong likelihood that Republicans will prevail in 2022 and take the House. So they don't want the Democrats to have to run on open borders. They don't want the Democrats to really have to run on any controversial ideas. So all of the controversial ideas, look for that over the next 2 years, or especially the next year, because the campaigning starts in earnest in early 2022. But look for that anything controversial, it will be done by executive order. And anything non-controversial that looks that will look to make Democrats look good and increase their chances for re-election will be left to the Senate and the House. So that's what he's doing and not really even him. He doesn't even know what he's signing half the time. I've heard the audio. Well, if you can trust it, in which he is signing something and he tells somebody, "I don't know what I'm signing," and the voice from off camera says, "Sign it anyway." So he doesn't even know what he's signing. So this is like a little group Democrats saying, "Joe, you're going to shield people from the consequences of their actions or inactions to help them try to get reelected." But I'm still very wary. If they'll steal a national presidential election, they'll steal the House. They'll steal the Senate. The question is, how they plan to do it. So, remains to be seen. Again, they might even try to float the idea, put up a trial balloon of suspending the election. Try floating a trial balloon of coming up with some kind of, special circumstances, or there's a crisis, or maybe they'll try to even use COVID as an excuse, as they're wont to do, in order to try to suspend the elections in 2022. I am going to be keeping an eye on that kind of situation as well. But like I said, Joe Biden isn't doing all these executive orders just for the sake of political power. He's doing it to shield the people in Congress, in the House of Representatives, from having to run and explain to their constituents why they're open borders. He's signed things that have to do with critical race theory, where he's supporting that. He doesn't want, again, no Democrat in Congress wants to have to go back to their constituents and explain, particularly their white constituents, why they're anti-white. So good old Joe does it for them. So that brings me to the conclusion of another episode of The Drill. And until next time, be honest, be smart, and be beautiful. I'm Ron, and that's The Drill.